All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Symphogear, Season 3, Episode 11. The submarine just got karate chopped.
Karate chopped by
Yeah.
gigantic mech.
Indeed.
Of
Yeah.
sorts. Yeah.
Because why not? Yes.
Because yes,
Bigger
yes.
and crazier and all that.
And our girl has done life, and used her Ignite
Yep.
module.
And now it's not underwater, so maybe, they'll be able to fight a bit more freely. They won't have to worry about, just destroying an underwater facility that they're trapped inside of.
Yeah, and we are 3 episodes left in this season, so
Yep.
a lot still can happen in terms of rip-roaring towards the finale.
Oh, yeah.
But now that, for the most part, everything that Carol needs to start things going should be, for the most part, ready to go. So now we'll see how that process begins, how that
Exactly.
actually works. Because
Yep.
we still don't really know what she's wanting to do with destroying the world.
But I am very excited to see her and Dr. Ver converse about it, as, they said about that whole plan.
Right. We have ideas, given that she's an alchemist,
Yep.
so there's the, aspects of reconstruction,
Right.
potentially after the destruction, but we still
Don't know.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. Dr. Bear! He was like, you
haven't seen the last of me!
Right, but also just calling her out, just being like, that's it?
Right.
What?
Bigger, girl. You can do better than that.
That paltry dream. No, only a hero.
The idea of having Dr. Ver
chastise
Carol. You're right, Carol, the main villain of this season, because no. You're
Nothing
selling
would be big
yourself
enough.
short.
Yeah.
Right? Don't
He's like, you could destroy the world?
don't settle.
He's like, okay, but why?
Yeah. You need to have a grand vision.
You will attain supreme knowledge.
You're a hero, right?
All you do with this knowledge, nothing. I just love the idea that Dr. Bear is basically yes, humans will become gods and it will be powerful, it'll be amazing. And then she's just like, I will do nothing with all this. He's like, Wait, you don't want to be the god of this world or anything? You want to make a world in your image? You don't want to
No.
what?
It's just doing it for the sake of doing it, Yeah.
I think what's sad about this is that basically Carol doesn't care because she just doesn't know. It's a thing of where she doesn't necessarily understand what her father might have been wanting to leave for her. Either because of the combination of her twisting a little bit of his words because of her pain, or because she needs to be loved. She needs to basically experience that in a way where she can see it for the context of what it was. But
And that's what I loved that they brought that up so starkly of
it was
why are
almost
you doing
comedic.
this? Father told me to. Live, experience the world. I'm going to destroy everything.
Because I understand the mechanics in her mind that say that disseminating the world to its base components so that she can then analyze it and study it. Cool.
Yep.
Gotcha. That sounds great. But I think she doesn't realize that the problem as to why, and it's even in her song, she repeats it over and over again. The reason as to why she doesn't basically do anything but what her father wanted her to do is because of the love that her and her father had for each other.
Oh yeah.
But she won't have any of that once she's analyzed all these things there, and she'll basically come down to the realization that the only thing that she really needed was love. And,
the other part of what he said was live,
Right.
And then
she will live.
Sure.
Yeah, she could probably become a transcendent godlike being and
stare at the ash, basically. Yeah.
or no, just go to other realities, worlds, what have you.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But
Waste
okay.
away into nothingness, yeah.
Right. As far as the scale of what's going on here, I love it. It was very cool.
Yeah.
The floating fortress thing, smashing through the sky when Hibiki is talking with her dad. Great. Love it. the organ pipes and everything like worked into the design. It's all just very cool, right?
Y'all, any of y'all that are Final Fantasy 14 players, you know I heard like Alexander's music. Once I saw the big thing in the sky and stuff. Jacob will know what that is eventually.
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, exactly. But that was a really cool, like, you know, like NGE kind of what's the sword thing?
The spears or whatever.
The big spear that pierces what's her name.
Over and over. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
But also Hibiki's dad actually was handled way better than the Tsubasa dad situation, even though they did kind of the same situation where they're like, but he actually was always with me, because it wasn't him that was with her.
Right.
It was the parts of him that she remembered that were good, as where he was a good father. Even though once adversity came in, he abandoned them.
Right.
The parts
things
of him
weren't just fine.
Right.
Yeah.
The parts of him that she could hold on to, she utilized for the best that she needed in that time, which parallels rather nicely with Carol, who is taking out of context specific things from her father and utilizing them in a negative way, because she's essentially redacting part of what he said.
Hibiki and Tsubasa, even though I like the Tsubasa one less, but the parallels there, they are taking their just shitty fathers, right? And getting some good out of that whole situation. Carol took her awesome father and got something shitty out of that situation. Now, granted, he was burned at the stake, so that'll have an effect on somebody.
Yeah, I think also just the point at which Carol sees her father as this icon, but doesn't necessarily see the flaws in what he was doing.
Yeah. Hibiki and Tsubasa basically saw nothing but the flaws, but then because there was
those couple things.
There were those couple things, and that's what made it painful, right? Because otherwise you could write them off entirely. It made it to be something where even if you can't believe in like an icon of the father figure, right?
Exactly. Because they will always fail you on some level.
Right. That doesn't exist for them.
Right.
They could believe in what that represents to help them get through hard times.
Right. Because what's important is not really about them bending over backwards for their shitty fathers trying to have a relationship with them. It's important that they're able to move forward through life while acknowledging the pain and accepting the fact that, hey, tomorrow could be different.
Right. And that's why I really love the interactions that Hibiki and her dad had before the sky ended up getting split. And that's what I think makes the twist, reveal, etc., the whole realization way better than the Tsubasa situation, right? Because one, it feels relevant to like the story with the villain and stuff.
They also just spent more time on the dad. That's really all Tsubasa's dad needed, was just more dimensionality to him.
Well, but also this is the other thing that I think is really important. With Tsubasa's dad, it's like they were trying to basically say the sides of your dad that are awful don't actually exist, because he cleaned your room. With Hibiki's dad,
in this case,
no, those sides of him totally exist, and it's a question of, can you come to accept that, right? Because he does still care about you, right? So him doing things of like, just running away because he's like, nope, my daughter's back there. No, I saved her the one time and now I'm skedaddling, right? That's all I can manage, right?
Right.
Oh, you know what? Okay, maybe I can manage more. I'm gonna throw and. Just the idea that he came up with that plan, I love. Like, the fact that someone, like, anytime a character is pathetic, but they end up being able to use it to actually do something awesome, I'm like, that's cool, right?
That's really fun,
and that was a lot of thinking on his feet for a lot of panic and terror that would have been flooding through his veins right there. So, good on him.
Because I think one of the things that also makes this moment a little bit easier to handle is because I would say I give him way more credit for being basically in a life-threatening situation.
Sure.
Where him basically panicking and doing all kinds of, scared shit.
He doesn't have
matter as
Symphogear
much.
powers. He's not Genjiro, who's can leap tall buildings in a single bound.
Right, exactly. I'm like, yes, he's pathetic, but he's literally about to die. So in these like last 30 seconds he might have, it matters exceptionally what he does here because they're his final moments theoretically.
Right.
So him running away, that makes sense. Oh, he actually wants to utilize that little bit of courage that he has to try and like draw aggro like you were saying.
Yep.
Oh yeah, sure. Way to go.
Cool.
You go, man.
And
then she kind of also toys with him to be like, haha, look at your father. He's so pathetic. I'm like,
by the
yes,
way, yeah,
yes.
that totally makes sense. Like as far as a way to basically have the villain stall and he starts monologuing,
Right.
you know. Of course.
Because
Hibiki was the one that she constantly couldn't break. Hibiki wouldn't even fight her when she first appeared.
this was the first time that they actually really fought.
Right, and she was terrified that, oh shit, Hibiki's actually going to fight.
Yeah.
But then it's the whole thing of, oh, your dad. Well, that's a personal thing for me. So I don't want to just beat you. I want to break you, right? So I want you to see how pathetic your father is. So yes, I will drag this out.
It's almost as if like the loss of her father broke Carol, so
and that's,
she's not really willing to admit that it did because she's like, no, I'm carrying exactly out what he wanted me to do.
Which would make sense why there's multiple Carols, because it's almost like she's been split, you know, and she hasn't been able to like reach reconciliation with herself. And that's where, if she were to be handheld, that's how I could see it potentially happening. Is there's some kind of, you know, like...
See, I think Elf 9 is going to get handheld. I don't think Carol. I think Carol needs to be...
So
yeah.
So here's what if this happened though?
Oh, you want to see them fuse?
Basically, yeah. Because if you think about if you think about it, Carol is one side of the person, right? And then Elf 9 is another side of the person. They are like polar opposites, right?
Sure.
And it feels like it's something where maybe as a way to protect Elf 9 or to protect Carol or whatever, there was this schism that happened, right?
Right.
And if those two get reunited, then that's the big win for me.
So
right?
So if that's what happens, then we have to have that moment of shit. But it's in automatic mode. I can't stop it.
No, that's
then,
the yeah.
And then literally, it's gonna be like, wait, but how did you start it? And then we just see like this flashback in her mind of just like, like Molly, and she's like,
where the fuck is Dr. Bear?
It doesn't matter how I started it.
Then they go looking for Dr. Bear and they grab him and he's like, no, don't kill me. You can be a hero. Save the world. And then he's like, yes, I will.
It's a bunch of, it's a bunch of the Symphogear users all rocketing him up into the sky. And it's like, yes.
As he's like bleeding out.
In the end. Man, we needed a man to save all the women.
That's right. Oh, boy.
Oh, God. I have so many, like, jokes I can make about Dr. Bear. But I feel like that's the episode. I feel like the best part about it was really how they handled Hibiki's dad.
Yep.
And
which
fact
feels
that the
strange
song,
that it actually kind of worked.
It kind of worked, yeah. And then I would say that Carol's, I would say... we now fully understand Carol. Like
right.
we now really understand Carol, and thus we finally see her final form.
And it's
her
dope.
utilizing all the stuff that she gained from the auto scores to then sing her superb song
Yep.
at no risk to herself, and also being able to cast alchemy with the phonic gained by singing her superb song, enhancing the powers of this. So it all...
She is Hollow Quincy and Soul Reaper.
Right. But it all sequentially, logically makes sense within the bounds of the world for her to then be unstoppable at this point.
Because of course she is.
Except Hibiki is landing multiple hits on her.
Hibiki is landing multiple hits, and it is possible that Genjiro could deck her in the face. No, that's probably not going to happen.
No, I don't.
Probably not.
That's going to happen.
Does she cast a shadow? Shoot the shadow, pin her down. No. If that ever ends up being used in like a big serious fight.
I'm just really excited for the 6 Symphogear user handhold, powered giga drill.
Full hexagon and everything, and yep. And
I mean that's a good point, hexagon. So
Carol's Also, Carol's whole line of like, "My song is the song that will destroy the world."
Yeah,
that was a pretty cool line.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. But there was a thing that happened after the credits. because parental relationships. Why stop, right?
Why?
Yeah. So,
Mom.
Sure. Okay.
Why not?
Why not? But also, why is she fighting? Who knows?
She's not fighting.
Well,
the enhancements and cybernetic whatever the robot parts around her were fighting. In fact, we didn't actually see anything like that.
No, we just saw the aftermath. But it looked like she beat the shit out of her daughter.
Again, she might not be doing that.
That's true. Yeah.
We'll see.
It's possible.
So yeah,
it's possible.
Yeah. No, without further ado, let's oh no, wait, that's the intro. That's the intro. Well, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If we want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. You can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.